Hey everybody, I'm gonna do this quick video here to accompany the tutorial for how to fly an ILS in the Cessna 172. Oh, look at that windsock, go crosswind. So you gotta be familiar with these gauges here, these instruments right here. You gotta be. Airspeed, your attitude, your altimeter, turn and slip, your compass, and then your vertical speed. We're gonna get into these two things right here, your course deviation indicator, your CDI, which is going to show glide slope and localizer deviation. And we're going to use this switch right here to go between our nav radio and our GPS unit. We're also going to come into the nav radio a little bit, and definitely going to use autopilot, which is your friend for IFR flying. So I'm at Williamsburg. I'm on 3-1. I'm on the active. I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna take off, runway heading, climb to 3,000. Then we're gonna pull up the Garmin and go over how to fly this ILS approach. Really not hard. Try and follow along. Again, you've got the materials, the tutorial through your pilot center and in the pilot academy. All right, so I'm gonna take off. Bear with me. I haven't flown the default 172 for a while. I normally fly the A2A, so I'm probably going to be a little bit all over the place. But I figured I'd do the tutorial in the default. Okay, there's 60 knots. There's 70, because it's probably the most commonly used like VFR aircraft. So I'm up. I got a little bit of a wind. So all right. So I'm going to set my autopilot here for, I say 3,000 feet. So there's 3,000. I want it to climb at, let's do 1,000 feet per minute. So I'm going to turn my autopilot on. I'm going to hit altitude and let it do that. I'm just going to come and set my heading real quick to maintain this heading. Hit heading there. So that should hold that. Alright. So let's climb out to 3,000 feet. Pretend that we're on a regular journey. We've took off from Williamsburg and we're headed to, I don't know, pick somewhere, Pennsylvania or West Virginia, wherever you want to go. And as we're climbing out, we get to 2,000 feet and the weather just goes bad. And what are we going to do? Well, you've already done the IAMC class, so we're going to go ahead and go to Richmond, and we're going to shoot the ILS into Richmond. Follow your IAMC procedures. But this is where you're going to concentrate on shooting this ILS in this Cessna. It's really not hard. A lot of people get intimidated by it. Don't practice it. Go ahead and practice it as much as you want. Once you've got the switchology down and whatever, you should be good to go. And you can translate this knowledge from this aircraft to a Piper to a helicopter to whatever. It's basic knowledge that can transfer across. I mean, things that you learn here you can put it into a Dash 8, a CRJ, a 737, whatever. It's the same. It's just the technology is a little bit different from aircraft to aircraft. The gauge is a little bit different, but the fundamentals are the same. Alright, so we're passing through 2,000 feet. As soon as it gets to 3,000, I'll pull the Garmin up. We'll go over that a little bit. Garmin's got a lot more features than I'm going to go over, but I'm just going to show you how to get on the ground shooting the ILS approach. I mean, that's what we're here for. So, there's 2,300. I'm starting to get a little bit slow, so I'm just going to bring this down 600 feet per minute. Give me some airspeed back. Don't lose on my airspeed. It'd be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Alright, so there's 2,750. That's close to 3,000. So there's my Garmin. Shift 3 will bring that up. Right now, just showing me the James River and not much else, just showing me where I am. So I want to fly to Richmond, so we're going to hit this button right here, our waypoint. I'm going to come down here, I'm going to scroll until I see like this information come up. I'm going to type KRIC using my keyboard. Enter, enter, enter. Now you see the nice KRIC is in there. My direct to KRIC with a magenta line. So I want to tell the aircraft to fly using the GPS. So I'm going to come to this switch, check GPS, and I'm going to hit nav. And now the aircraft is turning towards that magenta line. It's going to fly that. It's going to fly that magenta line. But unfortunately, this has got limitations. It's only going to fly me to the airport, and I want to fly the ILS. So how do we get this Garmin to do that? Well, it's actually pretty simple. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go to procedures. Basically what happens is now I've entered KRIC, the Garmin has now loaded everything about Richmond Airport. So it knows the procedures that's going to happen at Richmond. It knows the procedures that are at Richmond. So I'm going to hit procedures, select approach, and we're going to do ILS 02. So I'm going to hit ILS 02, and the HPW VOR per the approach plate is the VOR for the transition into this approach. So I'm going to select that. And this right here is the Hopewell VOR. This is the radial off that VOR to this initial approach fix, which is Cassie, which will then turn into Richmond. So let's go to activate that, hit enter. And now you can see the aircraft is starting to turn towards Hopewell. So let's hit procedures twice, and you can see that we are going now to Hopewell, to this VOR, to intercept this radial to get us to our initial approach fix. So we've got 5 minutes till we get to Hopewell. So looking at the approach plate for Richmond, I know that the ILS for 02, the frequency I need for the localizer is 110.90. I'm going to put that in right there, and I'm going to switch that so this is now active. So that's my frequency set, and I know that the runway course is 022. So I'm going to put 022 in there. So this is my OBS selector, and this will be the course for the runway, so 022. So that's set, and that is set. So autopilot's looking good. I'm at 3,000. It's nav. I'm at 110 knots. Everything's good. So you don't want to watch me fly across this nowhere for a while. So I'm just going to speed this up a little bit, just so that you haven't got like 20 minutes of video of me going on about stuff that you don't want to hear about. So you can see we're going to approach Hopewell. Then what it's going to want me to do is, the approach plate says that it wants me to cross Cassie at 2,000 feet. So this shows me 6 minutes from Cassie. So what I'm going to do is, when we get to about 3 minutes out, I'll put this back to normal speed, right there. And I'm going to set this to 2,000 feet, my altitude in my autopilot. And I'm going to tell it to descend at 500 feet per minute. So that'll take me 2 minutes to do 1,000 feet, which should get me to Cassie, should get me just outside of Cassie at the altitude I need to intercept the initial approach fix. So at the moment, this Garmin is going to fly to Cassie, and it's going to want to fly this 1 minute holding pattern into Richmond. Well, I don't want to fly a 1 minute holding pattern. I want to go to Cassie, and I want to go to Jesty, and I want to land. So how do we get the Garmin to do that? And when we get just a little bit further out from Cassie, I'm going to show you how to get it to not do this holding pattern, but go to final. It's really not hard. So again, let me slow down a little bit. I'll get a little bit faster. So how do I know that? Because I'm going to get ready to do a review of my gauges. Keep an eye on all this stuff. Airspeed, how we looking here? How's everything going? I know I'm coming down because I'm descending because I want to cross Cassie at 2,000. 110900, it's set. I'm running on GPS. So keep scanning your gauges, keep looking what's going on here. Keep that in mind. Keep everything squared away. Obviously, if you're in weather and you get into an unusual attitude and you get spatially disoriented, it can be bad news for you. So keep an eye on your gauges. Keep looking at things. What's going on? What are my instruments telling me? Trust them. Trust your instruments. This time of year, obviously, it's winter, so you want to, make sure your pitot heat's on. Is my airspeed looking good? All that kind of stuff. Just keep mindful that you gotta trust your instruments. All right, so it's coming down to 2,000 feet right before Cassie, and I don't know the MSA for the area, but you can see around it. There's nothing I'm going to run into at 2,000 feet, so I'm good to go there. All right, so like I said, I wanted to go to Cassie to intercept my initial approach fix, but I don't want to do this 1 minute holding pattern. So let's go to procedures. Let's go to activate vectors to final. Hit enter. So now what it's going to do is you can see it's changed. It's got rid of this 1 minute holding pattern. And Cassie is still on there. The magenta line goes to Cassie. And it makes that right turn at Cassie to Jesty. And Jesty is the final approach fix on this ILS approach. So if we look out this right window, right over here is the airport. Maybe I'll slow down a little bit. Let me give this a little power. Alright, so when we get to Cassie, it's going to make a, hopefully, it's not going to make me look stupid, it's going to make a right turn to Jesty. Alright, there it goes. So now we're turning to Jesty. So how do I know that I've got the right localizer? How do I know I'm going to the right airport? How do I know? If you click this button right here, bring up nav 1. If you hear that Morse code, compare those dots and dashes to the Morse code on the approach plate for the localizer frequency. And if they match, you know you've got the right one. If they don't match, check your frequencies, check the airport, check the right approach plate. Check the things that could be wrong. So I know that that's identified and it's good. So the aircraft's turning now to intercept to Jesty, which is our final approach fix. So the Garmin's got limitations on this ILS approach, just to make it easy for you. The Garmin will fly this magenta line all the way to the airport, to the runway, but it's not going to do any vertical navigation. It's just going to do lateral. So that's where our nav radio is going to come in for glide slope stuff. And we're going to get the aircraft to fly the nav radio, not GPS. In a minute, we're going to cut this GPS off. Well, I'm going to put it away, and you won't even need it anymore. So when I get to just a little bit out of Jesty, I'm going to let the aircraft navigate from the nav radio and not the GPS anymore. And if I move this, you can see that you can see the airport. Again, we're at 2,000, and the altitude at Jesty per the plate is 2,000 feet. So I know I'm going to cross that at 2,000. So again, let's do a scan of our gauges. Everything looks good so far. Autopilot's good, nav radio set, it's been identified, the course is in, everything's great, we're looking good, this is going to be a good approach. So, pretty simple so far, right? Not as intimidating as everybody makes it out to be. It's real simple. You just gotta, once you get it down, the procedures and the switchology, like I said, it should be second nature. It should be real simple. But some people get confused with it. But I've done it a few times. I'm not an expert, but I'm just telling you what I know. So, all right. So we're a little bit away from Jesty. So let's go ahead and hit this switch. Get it to nav. So we're doing the nav radio now. In fact, I'm gonna get rid of the Garmin. You can see the course deviation indicator, and you can see it says underneath that needle it says GS, so it's captured the glide slope. At this point, come down to my autopilot. I'm going to hit approach mode. You can see it switch to approach, and what it's going to do is it's going to capture that glide slope and capture the localizer, and which it has. So we are going to now, it's going to descend on its own. The autopilot's going to follow that radio signal down to the runway, and there it goes. So now it's descending. I'm going to bring some power off. So let me zoom in a little bit here. We saw in the tutorial, if this bends to the left this way, you fly to the left. If it bends right, you fly to the right. Each one of these dots on an ILS is 0.5 of a degree. Each one of these lines on the glide slope, as you can see, we've got to fly down towards this glide slope, so it's diving. Each one of these ticks is 0.7 of a degree. The glide slope and the localizer are very sensitive, more sensitive than VOR stuff. Alright, so I'm going to slow down. And this autopilot and stuff will not control your airspeed, so you're going to have to use your power for that. So I'm going to slow down even more. And in a second here, I'm going to bring some flaps in to fly an approach just like normal. So let's put 10 degrees of flaps in. It's slowing down a little bit more. I don't want to bring it down to about 70 knots, but we do an approach at about 70 knots. So you can see the autopilot is still running on nav. Everything's good here. It's on the glide slope. It's on the localizer. This is all good. It's all good. It's all good. All right, more flaps. Here we go. Let's slow it down a little bit more. You can see the PAPI lights are all good. I'm lined up with the runway perfectly. As you get a little bit better, more practice, cut the autopilot, and then try and get these needles using trim, rudder or whatever, to keep you on those, keep this X looking like that. Full flaps is going to go in at this point. I'm going to keep power in to maintain about 70 knots, and the autopilot's flying it. I haven't touched the controls since Williamsburg, since I took off and got to about 100 feet and hit the autopilot. So this is how simple it can be. It can, you can fly this thing on a full ILS approach and you'll never touch the controls. Some people like that, some people don't. If you want to fly manually, great. Have fun with it. It's alright, so I got it right at 70 knots, indicated. Everything's looking good. Everything's looking great. Autopilot's got it, obviously. Obviously, check your minimums, check your altitude minimums. Where's your missed approach point on the final? What happens if you need to fly a missed approach? That kind of stuff. Make sure you know all that and familiar with it. So, look at the plate before you intercept. Know what's going on with it. All right, normally, so about 500 feet, you could kick the autopilot off and fly by hand on the way down, but just because my takeoff was so bad, I'm gonna keep the autopilot on here just for a minute and bring it down. I think it's actually a little bit of crosswind here. Nah, there's nothing, so we're good. I'm gonna take off a little bit more power. I'm just gonna slow down just a little bit more. Probably want it down to about 65 knots. Between 60 and 70 is good. So I'm gonna bring the power down just a little bit more. And we're slow. I'm still autopilot. Still haven't touched the controls. So there's like 65 knots. And when we get to the threshold, I'll cut the autopilot and land it. Alright. So it's starting to kind of flatten out a little bit. So I'll cut the autopilot. Just bring it down, drop the power a little bit, trim it down just a shade. Alright. Flare a little high there, floating. Alright, so we're down, and there it is. That's how you fly an ILS approach in the Cessna 172. It's pretty simple. It's not hard. Once you get it down, get some more practice in, and flying by hand, do whatever you want to do. Have fun. Best thing need to do is sometimes just go out, charter a flight, and fly some ILS approaches. Go out to the transition point. Go out there, fly it. You know, pick one and just keep doing it until you're really comfortable with it. Have fun. Good luck with your check ride. And I appreciate your membership at RVA and JetSky. All right. Take care. Any questions, any comments? Let me know. Thank you.